an idle king in this still hearth among these barren crags. Rise with an aged wife, I meet and dole and equal laws into a savage race.
Neat.
Cool. We ready?
Yeah.
I thought the rhymes were
fuck
funny,
it.
so I started rolling.
Oh,
All right,
God.
cool.
Oh, Jesus.
Welcome back to the 7-Star to the Right podcast. We are nothing but professional here. Cool. So, hey, how you guys doing?
Doing great, man.
All I'm going to say is if you want professional, Kirsten, you need to start paying me for this.
I mean, that's kind of what professional means, right?
Exactly. I'm not going to change my demeanor at all. I would just technically be professional at that point.
So what do you guys remember from last session?
Bad things.
Robots.
Robots are a thing.
They're coming for us. They're in the vents.
Hate it when that happens.
They are coming.
You were actually kind of the ones that came through the vents or the elevator shaft.
Came over, man.
Game over.
So you guys went down the elevator shaft. You've got Tony with you, who you may or may not like.
Hey,
I didn't put the dog on the...
Yeah, I was actually
what?
going to just say.
So
Danger.
we already have the battle map sort of laid
I would
out.
like to name the dog Captain Obvious after this.
It's your dog.
No, I don't want
You have
it.
to feed it, take it
Here,
out,
put that next, like, in the vicinity of Nona, but kind of far away from the...
but not too close.
Nona?
Yeah, Nona's
Yeah.
the yellow one.
I'm yellow.
Put it on the giant death robot.
He's just sitting there shouting
kinda
about
like
how
that.
there's danger.
Okay.
We know, dog. We know there's danger.
We walked right into it.
So you guys went down the shaft. You did some investigating as to what happened here. You see a bunch of like people in vac suits, then people who seem more civilian and like lab equipment and stuff like that.
We also found weird guns that kind of don't work. We haven't actually tried them yet.
Yeah, I was about to say,
We
I don't think you tried
suspect
them.
they don't work.
What? What?
Well,
The
maybe
reason for
not
that.
don't work, but we have no way of loading them, so maybe it does not work. Is more what I meant.
Yeah, that was one thing about them, that there was only vents where you would assume you would try and load these different things.
Maybe they're like those guns that have like the stretchy bands on them that just shoot air, but like combat
completely
version
useless.
of those.
You found a bunch of those. You made your way towards the systems and maintenance sort of quadrant of this ring. You came across another one of those transceivers, which before Nona was able to depower it, you guys had a fight where Micah shined a flashlight down a hallway to notify, hey, we're here.
I was bound to get a clear shot.
Yeah,
We had a clear
It
shot.
worked out fine, and everyone's fine with it, so that's great.
I think they were dropped before they even had a chance to act, so
That's true.
worked out perfectly fine.
Not perfectly. It worked out fine, but it did not work perfectly fine.
Okay. And you guys made it to this sort of maintenance area where you see a couple of very big machines that seem to be dealing with like power and life support, which is step 1 of the 3-step plan or something like that. And step 2 of the 3-step plan, also off to the side, that black box terminal, which I think Micah and Alix ended up as.
Yeah. Because they don't know what step 2 means. You gotta do step
Well,
1.
maybe you just
We're
go,
gonna do step 2.
you go to the terminal and you're like pseudo step 1. And then it does it.
and you're
And
just
then
done.
Oh, and we also completely forgot this part where you guys have adopted a robot dog.
Yes, we found
Or
a dog.
well, the
Against
dog,
our will.
the dog,
A
A
sort
robot
of
dog is
adopted
following
its-
us. That's a little...
It
a little
adopted itself. It followed you home.
Nona is fully expecting this to turn on us at any second, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's
Robots
completely
are evil.
understandable.
I am my own
Um,
dog father. I've adopted myself and also you into my family.
Tony went over to some of the bodies to check out what they were having. Nona went over to one of the
For
more-
dinner?
What do you have?
I don't know, like,
Hey, what do you have?
weapons and stuff like that.
It's
and
me,
what they had on
Tony.
them. It's me, Tony. I'm robbing your corpse. Can't you see I'm grave robbing here?
You gonna want some
Sorry, I
pepper
probably
with
peaked
it
there.
or not?
Oh, God.
And Nona decided to.
I was keeping to my great strategy that was working perfectly so far about taking the batteries out of things, but then I effed that one up real good, and I woke it up instead.
It woke it up instead. So here we are with a battle map in front of us, and I already got all of you guys to roll for initiative.
Yep.
So at the end of that, when I started describing this behemoth of a machine, I think I described it between 8 and 12 feet tall. Like it is a big machine. Nona, realizing that it started to move, just started tearing out like wires and destroying as much as it possibly could while it was in its chest cavity. Yeah. So I'm going to reward you with some damage for that.
Fantastic.
So unarmed
Jeff's punch curse.
So unarmed damage is 1d2.
Great.
But rather than adding your strength or dexterity, I'll allow you to add your intelligence or program if that's higher. So because you know like where the best parts to rip and tear are.
Got it.
Ripped and tear.
How the heck does one roll a d2?
You flip a coin.
You flip a coin. Just roll a
coin.
d4, and 3, 4 is 2, and 1 or 2 is 1.
Wait,
What if you roll a d6 and 1 to 3 is 1?
You could also roll a d20, and 1 to 10 is 1, and 11 to 20 is 2.
No.
You know, you could
I'm
also
gonna roll a
do
d4.
evens and odds. Did we consider that?
Oh, we didn't.
I got a 1, so
Okay.
it's irrelevant.
And your
My program modifier is 1.
Wait, so
I
remind me,
said
what's the
in
1?
Strength, dexterity, whichever those modifiers are the best.
All right, I'll just.
I don't have anything that's over 1.
Okay, so it's just
so
1.
it's going to be 1 whether it's
1 plus
intelligent.
1, which is 2
Oh,
damage.
got it.
Yeah.
We're combining stuff.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
We're all on the same
2
page.
whole damage.
2 whole damage.
Math
two
with the
dis-
some start of the right crew.
Just some really useless wires there, huh?
Yeah, apparently.
All right,
The
so
decoy wires.
and so this behemoth of a thing that does have sort of mangled legs and an open chest cavity is
Same,
now
man.
standing on its as best as it can on its 2 feet and is looking directly at you, Nona, and you
Isn't that surprising?
get to act first
Fantastic.
in this combat. So, what are you doing?
Here's a good question. Can I still see the battery?
No, so I don't think you can. That was like far back into its chest.
Okay, and
cavity.
it stood up and I fell off it.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
If you want to try and get back in there and shoot at it, you could, but like from where you are, like you need to be elbow deep in this thing to be able to have a shot at hitting that.
It's like squirrel tactics.
Can I see any bits of the hole?
What do you mean any bits of the hole?
Like I was assuming that I sort of like tunneled into its chest to get at the battery, right?
Ugh.
Like, is there a hole in front of it and like back further as stuff?
Oh,
basically, if I can put a laser bullet or whatever these are called on the inside of the thing as opposed to shooting at the outside.
You're trying to shoot it right in its exhaust port.
It's more I'm like, I'm assuming that there's armor on the outside and there's not armor on the inside.
You're insane. That's a 1 in a million shot.
something about
Turn off
rats.
the targeting system.
What's wrong?
Luke, is everything okay? Use the force, Luke. Sorry.
Well, that's the actual question is like, I may be envisioning things different. Like, is there a hole in the front of it? If so, how big is it?
It's
paint us a word picture, Jay.
Yes, exactly.
So it's a mess of like wires and tubes and stuff like that. And some parts of those things are definitely less malleable. So they might stay in the position where you sort of shifted things around.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also some things in there that just naturally sort of shift around in there. So you don't have a clear shot at exactly the battery.
I'm not trying to hit the battery anymore.
You're just
if I can't see it, I'm just trying to get past the armor is the general idea.
Oh yeah, you can shoot right into like its cavity is.
That was
open.
the question.
Yeah,
I would like to aim for the inside of the robot as opposed to the outside of the robot.
You can absolutely do that.
Great.
Yes.
Perfect. That's what I'm going to do then. I forget combat. Can we attack then move or do you have to move and then attack?
You can attack then move.
Okay, I'm probably going to do that then.
Okay. Just a heads up, I don't believe you can shoot at it with your laser rifle since that is a two-handed weapon. And you are in melee combat with it currently.
Then I probably can't hit it.
With a laser rifle?
Well, more like I've got a
somehow.
pistol, but wouldn't I have to like switch those out? I had the rifle readied.
Give me a sec.
And the pistol is stowed.
I should probably have.
I think, to stow and then bring out a new weapon
is a whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, there are things that are ready that I think you can do like an on-turn action in order to get. and then there's stowed things. So if you're saying it is stowed, that would require an action to sort of.
Yeah, I mean,
it.
I was planning on shooting it with the laser rifle. So the last thing I did last time was I pulled out the laser rifle.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm going to be moving and changing weapons then.
So you're sort of like disengaging.
I can move and then attack. So if the laser rifle is readied, can I get back out of melee range of it, or is it just too big that that's not a thing?
I think there's a disengage action. Otherwise, it gets an attack of opportunity. I can't remember.
But I mean, if you get out of range for it, there is an attack of opportunity.
Fighting withdrawal is a main action. Disengage with melee enemies and prevent them from making attack of opportunity.
If you get out of melee range with it, you can shoot it with your rifle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get out of combat. I'm just trying to step backwards enough that I can shoot it.
That's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll just.
Well, then I guess I'll just run.
So.
I will disengage and leave.
Okay, so
because I can't hit it, right?
Yeah, you can't shoot at it with the rifle.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Okay,
but I can't shoot at it with the rifle, and I can't switch things and also fire. So me being right here is really, really bad.
That's true. You could also just try and dodge the attack and then take a shot at it.
I would have to switch guns, though.
No. So. The action that you are taking in this round is the disengage action, which it allows you to move away from the thing that is you're fighting melee combat with. And that's sort of like your main action. Then you take your move action.
Oh, I see.
What I'm suggesting you do, what you could do, not what you should or shouldn't do.
Disengage, but not run away from it.
No, you don't take the disengage action. Okay. You just run away from it, in which case it would get an attack of opportunity on you. It would take a swing at you with whatever it has. And then you could then fire upon it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, the disengage action is more of you like distracting it so that it doesn't kick you.
All right,
kick you real good.
Let's do that.
So you are.
I'm gonna run away without disengaging and let it try and hit me.
So as you're trying to figure out what we're gonna do with this big ass thing that's in front of you, it starts to line up like it had on one of its arms. It had a very massive weapon. Almost.
Sure.
Almost. Not quite.
Sorry.
Cannon. What the artist formerly known as weapon.
It's like a laser cannon, like something big, massive, heavy damage kind of thing. And as it's pointing at you, you hear the and it doesn't appear to be working. Yay. So luckily for you, instead of taking a shot at you with it, it just starts to swing this sort of clubbed, massive weapon at you, and it's considered this clubbed broken cannon.
Cool.
And it's going to roll an 18 to hit.
It hits.
Okay, so it hits you
square in the mouth,
and that is 8 damage.
Oh.
I believe, thanks to my leveling up, I have 1 HP remaining.
Oh boy. So this thing just winds up and smacks you right in the gut and basically sends you flying across the room. And now move yourself to where you want to be.
I mean, if it sent me flying across the room, I don't know, like
you still have a move action after this.
Sure.
It's like Dragon Ball Z rolling.
Behind who's green?
That's the dog.
Oh, great. I'll hide behind the dog.
Sure. And so you take that hit, and now you have still an action left that you can take.
Okay, I shoot at it.
Okay.
I forget everything. It's D20 to hit.
D20 to hit, yes.
I'm going to ask this every single time.
Today's episode brought to you by The Rules.
14.
The Rules. Otherwise, it's just improv.
So because you took a shot at its mangled bits inside, that does hit.
Sweet. I forget how the shooting, stab, those work just like normal modifiers, right? Shooting, stabbing, punching.
Yeah.
Cool. I hit it for 9.
All right. So you after taking that big shot, you get your rifle out, line up a shot, and hit it directly within that cavity, and you see like still sparks and flames start to go on inside of that. It is still standing. And now it is Tony's turn.
Yay.
And
Tony runs.
He sees this behemoth of a machine stand up, and he was checking out one of these weapons. So he is going to fire one of the combat shotguns against one of these. I have to pull up the combat shotgun real quick. Yep. All right.
Jeff realizes he's never made a combat shotgun.
Pay no attention to the man looking through all of the things.
Okay.
He takes a shot and he does not hit.
Damn it, Tony.
He's just
You're too far for a shotgun, Tony. Don't use the shotgun.
The sniper rifle guy pulls out a shotgun.
Well, it's what he was holding and just saw it stand up and just
that's
immediately
fair.
fired. And he is going to move up to the other wrecked machine and sort of take cover behind that. So he took a shot at it, and those pellets sort of glanced off its protected shoulder, and he moves up into combat range with it. And now it is the machine's turn. And it is not happy with Tony.
It was not programmed to be happy with Tony.
I wasn't either, to be fair.
And it says, oh God, what was I going to say? I was going to say a thing.
You wrote it a speech and you forgot.
I did. No, I didn't.
We're not so different, you and I.
I am robot.
You are trespassing. Evacuate the premises. And it takes its other arm, and little lightning rods sort of protrude out from it, and he points it at Tony and fires, and you see sort of an arc go from where the robot is to Tony's vicinity with an attack. And it hits.
Goodbye, Tony.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about Toady anymore.
Don't you hate when the thing hits?
Don't you hate it when the thing hits? And it does 7 damage to Tony.
Ouch.
And he gets zapped from the cover that he has. Alix, it's your go. You see this thing come up, and Tony and Nona are already immediately engaging it.
Okay, great. Stare up at it. Nona is no longer in the cavity, so I don't think I ever have made 1 + 1 = 2. Fuck. Can I get to the door in 1 move action or no?
The door to the
To the hallway, yeah, to the outside of the thing. It's fine if not.
I'm cool with you sprinting it, but you won't be able to do anything else.
Okay. In that case, glances at the door, measures the distance, can't make it too quickly. I'm gonna duck behind the cover. Is that cover?
Yep.
The little bean shape.
Yeah, that's one of the non-heavy robots. It's just like a sort of a utility robot that's used for like lifting things.
Actually, before I head over there, I'm gonna go as forward as close to the robot as I can get without melee range. I'm gonna pull out an EMP grenade and lob it up.
Okay.
Kind of aiming higher than, hopefully it won't bounce off the robot and hit Nona or something. And ideally, if it did hit something, it would bounce away from Nona and the dog.
I appreciate that.
I believe that's an attack against AC 10 to make sure you throw it in the correct direction.
And the general thing, yeah. Pull the pin, count to 3. D20 plus.
I believe you use like exert for throw.
Exert like dexterity or exert?
Strength exert or dexterity exert.
Cool. Definitely dexterity exert. Oh, that's a 1.
Fantastic.
Okay, so that's gonna go in a random direction then.
Oh dear.
So how are we gonna do this? Let's
Random direction from him or random direction like from the robot?
Oh, I should have gotten all the bad rolls out.
random
Really?
direction from the robot.
Oh.
Okay.
Because that's his intended. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get all the bad rolls out of this
I
dice.
see. So what we're going to do is, can you roll a d12, and this will be 12, and we'll just use the clocks to say which direction it goes in.
4.
Hooray!
4. So it goes this way, right?
Yeah.
Ish. And then roll a d10 for how far it goes.
6. It
Okay.
goes 6 far.
So it basically bounces up against this wall. You threw it a little too hard, but it still is within the range of the heavy warbot.
Saved by the chain link fence.
And I believe you roll damage, which is 2d6,
Thank
and it
God.
gets a saving throw to try and reduce that. And its save sucks because
6,
it's got a broken leg.
4, 10.
It fails. So it takes this shock from the EMP grenade, and you can see the circuits within it just absolutely fry, and it crumbles to the ground. And the combat is over.
Oh, God.
Yay.
Oh, wow. That was very lucky soul. Fuck. Okay.
I'm going to be sitting in the side of the wall that I'm sort of like by, kind of trying to heal me with my various robot healy things that I've picked up before.
You're doing this with Tony still in the room?
Well, so the question is, I kind of assumed that going down to 1 hit point meant that maybe some bits were already sticking out already. If they're not, I can wait on it. But I thought this was more of a, oh shit, he's going to see I'm a robot.
No. So
Okay.
how I'm thinking this happened is it basically took a big swing at you and hit you square in the torso.
Oh, okay,
so there's
cool.
definitely a lot of, like, if you were to take off your vac suit,
Sure.
like there would probably be like some protrusions or something like
Got
that,
it.
and some maybe leaking fluids of some kind. But because you're in a full sort of onesie of a vac suit, this is not immediately apparent. They just saw you take a shot to the chest.
Actually, that's a side question for my own curiosity. How does like healing and stuff in general work when you're wearing a vac suit? Do you just treat it like normal, or is there a whole like you just can't because if you open the suit you die?
Well, you can.
I know. I remember we're pretending we're human here.
Yeah, it really depends on the situation. But if there is like a cut within the vac suit itself that hurt you, the cut is actually the more important thing in the vac suit than the actual damage itself. You can't do a lot with a vac suit on because it covers your entire body, and taking it off would it's supposed to kill a human. You're not human, so
yeah.
All right. So seeing Nona on the ground, Alix is gonna kind of run over. Thinks twice about it. Looks over at Tony. Is like, okay, we keep up the act. And I run over to Nona. Like kind of crouch down. Nona, are you okay? And then kind of under my breath, I can't do anything. I can't actually heal. Do you require any medical assistance?
No, I believe I'm all right.
Okay. You can whisper and tell me if you are hurt or anything. I will cover if you need to.
I mean, it's not great. Not going to lie.
Okay.
And as you guys are talking, Tony sort of meanders on over to you guys and says, "How you doing, Sunshine? You took a big one to the chest there."
I'm fine.
Yeah?
I mean, it hurts a bit.
She puts on a brave face. I've done some quick first aid, and I'm hoping to do some bioscion and make my eyes glow without exerting thing.
Just for the aesthetics.
Just like, yeah, she's fine. I did the magic. Space magic.
She'll be all right. Nona's tough as nails. Don't worry about it.
How strong is metal? Oh.
and Tony just sort of looks at all you guys and says, "All right, maybe don't go poking inside any more robots, huh?" And he goes back off to what he was doing before.
What do you mean?
I was trying to take the battery out.
Did that turn it on? Was there an on switch next to the battery that went with the...
No.
Oh, Space Jesus.
Space Lord in heaven.
Space Lord in heaven, give me 2 leashes.
So there's
and the third one for the dog.
And the dog is just sort of sitting there looking at you.
So there's another heavy robot on the ground, right? That did not activate before.
There were two more.
There were two more.
There's a total of 3. I went after the one that was the least
Destroyed.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go over
that's
to.
a question. Did the range of the EMP happen to hit any of those other ones, or would it have?
It would have hit the one that Tony was taking cover.
Gotcha, but
for.
not the other one.
The other one, it's got like his arm is ripped off and like the legs are completely mangled and like it's strewn about.
Okay.
It is
All
is
right.
the most destroyed of the 3. The second most destroyed would have been the one that Tony was taking cover on under.
All right, but it's on thin ice for
All right.
now.
Well, I'm gonna go over to that one anyway and smash its head region with my I-beam for good measure.
Okay.
Just whack.
Yeah, so you smash it in and that works and it happens and nothing sort of
Happens.
Good.
happens. The head just sort of explodes into metal bits and components.
Fuck. Okay. Well then.
Anyway, where were we?
Serenity now.
Sorry, I had to set up my screen again. I need to feel safe behind my screen. Okay,
The
so
screen has pictures of really awesome robots on it.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's
I
pretty
don't get to
sweet.
see it. I just see a bunch of text telling me about combat summary and
Oh
creature
no,
combat statistics.
not the rules.
I want to hide from the rules and I'll turn it around and show you guys the rules.
Maybe if you put the
might
rules
help.
in the shape of a robot, then you could have the best of both worlds.
You know what? That's a thought. I'll try that out next time. So
No,
you
won't.
guys
Don't lie.
So Nona was nearly just
Yeah.
destroyed. Tony took some significant damage. Alex, are you going to like check on him at all? And check that damage?
You know what? My,
If
my
you
thought,
don't
my
want to,
thought
I don't
never
want
went
like you.
to Tony. It was Nona, but if I notice that like if Tony is outwardly like hurting, then Alex goes and checks on him.
So he took a big hit, but it seems the damage that he took was from a stun-based weapon, similar to the stun batons the security robots have, which can't outright kill you, but can definitely hurt. And he's sort of like working his muscles and stuff like that, and sort of weighs you off and says he's fine.
Okay. Then I won't press it.
So you guys are now in this room that you were trying to get to. There is no imminent threat anymore. Micah and Alix, you looked at the black box. What else do you guys want to do in this room?
Well,
Uh,
back to the list.
Hey, Nona,
One.
what was item number 1 again? I forget.
We're supposed to turn on the generator first,
All right.
and then close the blast doors, and then turn on life support, and then turn on and restart the black box.
All right.
And that's when the death robots awaken. Yes.
Well, technically, one of the death robots already did.
One of the giant death robots did. I'm waiting for the other ones.
Oh, the smaller ones.
The
yes.
smaller ones. Less of a threat, but still death. What's power?
Is this the generator over here?
Yeah,
Power.
They're both
Yeah.
at the back. So you
All
do the signage that you took that got you to this room was it was saying like life support as well as power this way. And so one side appears to be power and the other side appears to be life support.
All right. Yeah, I'll head over to the power generator and
I will
take
go
a
with
look.
him.
Cool. So Micah and Nona go into sort of the cage that is housing sort of these generating machines. And Micah or Nona, which one of you wants to go up to the terminal?
First, before we do any of that, I'm going to lean over to Micah and whisper, "If I die, take my body back to the ship. I need it."
Can I do like a hot fix on her? Like try and help her out a little bit?
Not
No,
With-
not
Without
out
taking
Tony's
off the
taking
vaccine.
off the vac suit.
that makes sense, I
Good
guess.
news is we're restoring life support soon, so there will be a.
I do have in my notes that you took like 4 encumbrance works of advanced mech parts.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I very much
Specifically
did.
for these purposes.
Exactly.
So When you guys can get into a location where you're away from prying eyes, you can definitely do that.
Yeah, we'll find somewhere where Tony can't see us and try and get you sorted.
Just take off your vac suit, do the hot stuff.
Oh, baby.
So, Micah, you get up to the terminal, and similar to what was on the other terminal, very like 80s sort of like just the command line that you see. And
they still have DOS.
it's space
We're
DOS.
in the dark
Some things never
timeline.
change.
Pre-scream DOS.
And you do like you try and type in commands you would think that would start like start or pseudo start or
Micah knows about pseudo.
Please start.
Yeah, I've done programming.
And you keep getting a message back saying generator on lockdown, needs sysadmin password, or Alex is just off to the corner like, damn it. Needs sysadmin password or coordinator card.
Great.
Have you tried the bark sniff?
All right, so we need some kind of extra password or authentication to get this to do what we want. Fuck.
Really fast, I would like to attempt some guesses at the password.
Okay.
Password
Specifically looking for one of those as it's supposed to be, like incorrect password, X attempts remaining. As soon as that shows up, I will stop.
Okay.
But like the idea being, if I could brute force this, I'm going to brute force it.
This assumes that the number of attempts is greater than 1.
That's fair.
So you're trying and you get a couple in, and eventually that does pop up, and it says 3 attempts remaining or full lockdown of the system requiring opening by coordinator card.
I will stop.
So, coordinator.
I'm gonna look around at the bodies that I guess are strewn around this room, see if maybe someone looks like they were important here, maybe.
I
Okay.
remembered a thing from last week.
Yes, you did.
I would like to go over to the briefcase thing that everybody was grabbing at, like the Indiana Jones style freaking temple.
It's just in the middle of, and everyone's like reaching for it, but dead.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I
mean-
pictured in my head.
It was on a specific person. It was
Right.
sort of attached to them onto their arm. They also had another thing on them. So you go up to this
They also
person.
had the other
and-
thing being a label that says coordinator.
Hello, my name
It
is
is
Coordinator.
So you come up to this man in a vac suit, and I think as I said before, he appears to have more stars and stripes than the other members. So this is
Hell
a higher
yeah.
ranking
America.
member of this sort of group. If you look at sort of it militarily high hierarchy, and are you? So there are 2 things that are immediately apparent on his body. There is the briefcase, and then there is also a what appears to be a comm pad in his arms. Which one of those things are you looking at first?
I think briefcase first.
Cool. You come up to it, and it's got some size to it. I'm trying to think of like it's bread box size, but it's not like a regular suitcase that's sort of like just this rectangular prism.
Right.
It sort of bulges in the middle, almost like a cylinder.
like like a grape that's a little bit too big for a box.
And do you want to open it up?
Yeah.
Okay. So you open it up, and on one side of the inside of it, it is completely hollowed out except for a couple of sort of advanced components that you see. There is a cylinder that appears to be some sort of power source, very large for whatever it's trying to power. And then there is sort of off to the side a bunch of extra components that wire into this sort of cylinder that has a code on it and a keypad,
Cool.
sort of like a one of those screens they used to type in and stuff like that.
That is not an administrator card. or coordinator card.
Nope.
So I'm going to report back what I find. I'm just going to briefly describe it to everybody and then go look at the compad.
I have no idea what this thing is. I'm not even going to try to roll for it.
Did you look through his pockets?
Not yet.
The stars and stripes, man.
I started with the most obvious thing and we're working our way down the list. You could go through his pockets while I'm going through the compad if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. I'd like to do that.
You pick up the compad and surprisingly, it still has power. And you're looking through it and it seems like a pretty fancy compad. It has some algorithms and procedures and things within it that appear to be different kinds of hacking protocol. And what you know this as from your experience is what's called a black slab. It's in the rule book somewhere, you can look it up. But basically it's a compad that is useful for hacking.
Yeah.
And that's all you see on this body.
I want that.
Alix and Micah, I want you to roll something. I want you to roll an intelligence no check.
Okay.
I am allowed
What is
to
it?
take
That's
that, right?
2d6, yeah.
I am
Right.
allowed to take that, right? The black slab thing.
Yes.
8.
This is mine now.
8 on my intelligence, no.
6 for me.
Yeah, you guys aren't familiar with whatever this suitcase thing is.
I did
It
not
looks
think
valuable, but other than that, you're not sure what its purpose was.
Okay.
So no card.
I don't find anything in the pockets of that person.
Nope.
Okay.
He doesn't have pockets. It's a vac suit.
Fair enough.
Okay.
If I open it up, does he have civvies underneath it? I don't know.
He does have civvies underneath it, but like nothing in the pockets because then that would cause a protrusion and then be like, are you got a banana in your pocket? Are you happy to see me? And he didn't want that. So
We can assume that he didn't want that.
we can assume that he didn't want that. He's
Okay.
been dead for a while.
All right.
All right, so seeing a little bit of a dead end, Alix is gonna look around, walk over to the dog, sigh a little bit, and then bend down and go, okay, you spoke space common, space English, whatever we are speaking right now. So I'm assuming that you also understand it. Do you know the password? Do you know who would know it? I'm talking to a dog right now. This is an all-time low for Alix. Not saying a lot.
So it barks once and just sort of sits.
Absolutely useless.
I don't know how to interpret that. Does one bark mean yes?
It barks.
Does 2 barks mean yes?
It barks.
Fuck! I don't even like dogs. I walk away. I walk away from the dog.
I'm gonna be looking through just the other bodies around here, I guess, see if any other ones stand out besides this one guy.
No, they're sort of nondescript. They all sort of blend in. It seems to be some sort of squad that was put together as to why they were fighting. As I described before, it appears there were like these robots on one side and then these people in back suits on the other. And so it appears they've been fighting. You don't know why, or you can't discern why the two sides were fighting. But other than the high-ranking member with those couple of things, you just see a bunch of different types of those same weapons that Tony used to shoot, like combat shotguns, submachine guns, rifles of this type.
Useless. No, what you got there? You find something good?
I've got a black slab.
Okay.
Don't ask me what it is because I haven't found it in the rulebook yet.
All right. Well,
Type find on black slab.
My control F does not work on this document. I do not know why.
All right.
While a black slab appears to be a normal data slab to casual examination, these devices are packed with intrusion optimization hardware and integral line tapping tools. They give you a +1 hacking.
So I have that now.
Yeah. Well, we could maybe try and do that to crack into the power server thing.
They are also quite illegal. on most worlds.
That's fine.
That is irrelevant to
Not
us.
bothered by that.
Literally no one cares. Well, we haven't checked everybody else yet.
I've kind of been looking around. It doesn't seem like any of these people is going to have it.
Sure, but I meant everyone.
You mean like Tony?
No, on the floor.
Should we
We passed
kill
many
Tony?
people who
Tony.
could potentially be the
There's-
coordinator.
Yeah, there's also 2 quadrants of this ring that you guys haven't even set foot in.
Uh-huh.
I would be willing to attempt to hack it, but given that we have only 3 attempts, I think we should look around a bit more to see if we can't find the card it's referring to.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense too. So if this is definitely what we got to do first, because it's the first item on the list, I got that. I guess we
Thank
should walk around the rest of the place, see if we can find our person.
Tony speaks up. Sounds good to me.
Oh, Tony.
I'm still here.
Do you know what that thing is? And I point at the cylinder.
I can do a quick roll for him.
Know what that thing is.
Does he indeed?
Come on, Tony, be good for something.
You Southern Italian man.
He squats down and starts looking over it and turns it over a couple of times and says, I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's some kind of bomb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's so... You know what? Let's not look at it then.
Yeah.
That's a big bomb.
And he just sort of does like a quick terse nod and, yep, this is pretext stuff. I don't know how big this thing could go, but it could probably go big.
The fuck brought that onto a space station, huh?
Oh, this guy.
All right. Well, I guess let's get out of here for now. There can't find what we're looking for in here, and
Don't love leaving that.
don't want to
here.
hit that. Well, better here than where someone else is gonna like shoot it by accident.
I'm not going to just like put it in my backpack. Like,
We could throw it into space. There was that giant hole over there. That's all I'm saying.
I am a fan of throwing things into space.
You know what? That makes some sense.
This will surely never be found.
It immediately bounces back and blows up the other half of the space station. It does that thing where the space station's big enough that it just slowly orbits it forever.
And now we have
We'll
a
come
bomb
back for you
satellite.
later.
Well,
Anyway.
it's been here this long, so do we want to get rid of it or we could just leave it and deal with it a little bit later?
That thing's a bomb. I don't really want to move it. I don't know what's gonna set it off.
Okay.
We could leave it here, and when we take the floor, we could have either Dix or Zix look at it and see what they think. It could be useful. I don't want to just chuck it into nothing, but it's been inert for 600 odd years.
Okay. Yeah. Let's put it to a vote.
Let's just not touch it. I say nay.
Well, we don't have to touch it right now.
Let's close the briefcase.
Yeah. And Tony just sort of like clams it shut and just lays it gingerly on the floor and just sort of gives it a little tap.
Device armed.
Sort of.
Okay. Let's leave the grape alone.
This was also handcuffed to somebody, or did we get that off? Or am I imagining this?
So it's kind of handcuffed to him.
Gotcha.
It would be trivial to get it off right now, but you guys haven't specifically said you were
Attempted to.
removing this from his arm.
That's fair.
It's kind of one of those things where like, don't want to get up and leave my briefcase.
That would be bad.
All right, so let's keep on moving then.
That's cool.
So, do you guys still have the index card that I gave you, which sort of shows where the things are?
Vaguely,
Of course.
yes.
Yeah. We do.
So you guys are currently on the systems and maintenance side. You came from R&D 2, which was sort of ripped apart to all get out. So the only way you could continue really going is to R&D1,
Right.
or you could backtrack through R&D2 to the residential, or go through R&D1 to the residential, because if you could see, I don't know if I drew them in, but they're between R&D1 and systems of maintenance to the central sort of elevator shaft. Those parts were like ripped apart, and there is like meters of open space to get between those two sides.
I do want to go back to those bodies we found in R&D2. One of them was very important to this dog, and I was wondering if they were just kind of important in general. Maybe sysadmin privileges.
Looked like someone who just works here.
Did we check the bodies?
Yeah.
You did check the name tag. The name tag said something along the lines of, I need to go through my notes 1 second.
Don't say something along the lines of and then go read it.
James Webster. They worked in pet AI development.
Okay. Never mind then. I just forgot.
Now that I've remembered this. Yeah, no, I vote we go R&D1. Places we haven't been before are better than places we have.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
So you guys are going to continue around the ring. What order are people going in?
I'm going first.
You're going first?
Yeah.
And then Tony can bring up the rear again?
Yeah, okay.
Cool. And the dog just sort of stays within like the group and is just sort of following you guys. It's being quiet. It's sort of taking direction from you guys. Not like specific direction, but like you guys are being quiet, so it's trying to be quiet kind of deal. So as you continue moving on, Micah, you're going forward. How is your you're using the flashlight to sort of light your way so you can see. Are you just completely blindly like flashing forward, or are you trying to keep it like low so you can maybe see what's in the darkness before you flash it? Or are you just going?
Yeah, no. So for this kind of thing, just walking through the hallways, I'm probably pointing it a couple feet in front, like down at the floor, but I'm trying to keep an eye out into the darkness and not shine it directly there.
So you guys are making your way around. You see signs starts pointing for like R&D1. And as you're getting closer and closer to R&D1, I'm going to need you to roll a wisdom notice check, please.
Okay. That is a 3.
Everything seems okay.
Cool. Yeah. We're doing great. I won't even say anything.
Who is directly behind?
Yo.
Nona, can you roll a wisdom notice check?
No.
As you guys keep moving forward.
Okay.
Oh. 10.
All right.
Go Nona. 6 and a 5 on the dice.
Micah just keeps going on ahead. And Nona, you notice when you're about 10 meters away from it, it's pretty close up onto you and pretty close in front of Micah. Another one of those black transceivers just sort of sitting in the middle of the hallway, and 20 meters back, a couple of figures resting against the wall. And when I say a couple, I actually mean several. There are 3. Because couple is 2. Yes,
several.
my apologies.
Levels up. Okay, great. I am going to stop and then whisper, Micah.
What?
Stop.
Oh, no, you can't just stop like...
Remember that thing that happened in the other hallway? We're in a remarkably similar situation, except there are more robots down there.
Look out in the darkness.
I'll be like,
yeah. Wasn't.
Shall we try to sniper one this time and maybe not shine a flashlight on it?
Hopefully sniper a few of them.
Fine.
I'm up for
Tony.
sniping some. And Tony just sort of like peeks into the conversation.
Fine, Tony. Go the fuck ahead.
So you guys are going to set up what's known as an execution attack, where you sort of prepare a position and sort of line up your shot and then basically do a simultaneous attack on these things. I need to look up these rules real quick. Give me a second.
Like, as in, like, all of us are trying to shoot them?
I mean, yeah.
Should I pause? Sure.
No,
Yeah, I would put,
don't
like-
worry about pausing.
Okay.
I
Cut
just
it out
know
in
like
thirds.
that.
Alex
You
and
reaching
Nona on
back.
one,
Yeah.
Mike on the other,
That's probably
Tony
a
on a
good call.
third.
Time for an all-out attack.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was envisioning.
Cool.
Okay, go.
So how execution attacks work after me looking them up and totally not knowing them
Don't
before.
tell them that. You're ruining the magic.
The magic.
If we get one, we win the game.
Yeah.
And that's how you win.
And that's how it works. So basically, you guys, it's not the same as a free attack. You sort of set up everything. So you guys are pointing out, I assume, how do you want to divide the four of you up to attacking these three figures? Two of them appear similar to the security bots. One of them appears similar to one of the soldier bots. The ones that sort of carry the transceivers on their back in the elevator shaft.
I think we would like to do me and Alix on one of the weaker ones, both aiming at it, and then have the other two. I'm assuming Micah has opinions on which one he wants.
Yeah, well,
She wants to shoot.
yeah, I want to shoot the big one.
You shoot the big one? Okay. So you guys each have your targets. This is not going to be a point blank shot. This is probably going to be a shot at the normal range.
Mhm.
So what you do is you roll a dex shoot skill check, and you're trying to beat an 8, which is not easy. Yeah, well, let's just do that right now.
Would I do that with my normal shooting modifiers? Because it's a little different for my psychic gun.
Use it for how you normally would do
Yeah.
it. So you can use, I think, it's Constitution for that.
And telekinesis.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
you can do that.
Wait, so it's different
Yeah.
from the attack bonus that you might have.
That yes, so you don't add your attack bonus. This is a skill check.
Oh, okay, so mine is worse. Oh. 8.
Okay, 8's what you need.
And 11.
11.
I got a 10.
Okay, so all of you guys hit. And what this means is the attacks do maximum damage, and the all of the whatchamacallits, the victims have to make a saving throw on the spot or just die.
Did Tony shoot at anybody?
Yes, Tony shot at one of the other security bots.
Just making sure.
He got an 8 and is dealing sniper rifle damage,
Good
which I
job,
think
Tony.
is 2d6.
Damn.
Sorry.
Guys, let's kill Tony.
Oh, sorry, it's 2d8. So,
Yes,
That would make it a lot easier to repair
appropriately
that sniper rifle was sweet.
pretty good for execution attacks because you get 2 dice.
Mm.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that one thing that they do.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
okay. So, 2 security bots die on the spot. How much damage do you deal to the leader bot?
13.
That also dies on the spot, even though it made its saving throw. So you all sort of fire off at the same time, and these figures at the end of the hall just drop.
Okay. Well,
That was a lot more efficient.
Boring.
we
Let's
do
move on.
that. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I would like to do the same disarming thing I did to the other one.
What is that? Yeah.
You're taking out the battery
Yeah,
and sort of trying
cutting
to
the same sort
sabotage
of
it
wires.
kinda deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll make note of that.
Easy enough to fix, just time consuming.
And you're grabbing and you're taking the battery with you?
Yes, I believe so.
You're adding that to your encumbrance because batteries are not 0 encumbrance.
That is correct. I now have, I believe, 4 of them.
Because Nona is just carrying this
Batteries
like
around.
big sack full of metal.
I will never have a dead remote again.
Or, if you will, a sack full of tons of grapes. That's what it really looks like.
Yes. Everything always needs to be described and how grape-like it is.
It's a grape skill.
Like that one
The
Rick and
Concord
Morty
scale.
thing where like everything is
It's grapes all
on
the
the
way
cob.
So yeah, that transceiver is also deactivated and sabotaged, similar to how you deactivate and sabotage the other one. The robots are out of commission. They do not appear to be moving anytime soon. Do you want to just continue moving on?
I think
Yeah.
so, yes.
Ooh.
All right. So things become less and less industrial as you leave the system and maintenance quadrants. It's a lot less tight and packed spaces and less like high voltage, only what's the right word?
Generators.
Only generators may enter. Only authorized personnel can enter.
Only high voltage.
Only high
personnel
can enter.
Robots. It was robots all along.
And you guys are starting to see a lot similar architecture that you saw in R&D 2, the very large sort of walls of windows that you can see out into space, a lot of glass, a lot of sort of this chrome, and very, just a sterile environment. Again, you see a bunch of these people, both vac-suited individuals as well as civilian, a lot more civilian in this sector. And you guys are looking around. Are you guys looking for anything in particular?
Everybody spread out and find the cat. I'm kidding.
Are there any bodies around that we see?
You see various individuals just sort of around. Are you just going to be searching each one of them for a particular card?
I mean, yeah, keeping an eye out for hopefully someone who looks sort of important, who might be a coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping an eye out for someone who looks oddly like me.
like robot, or just like you?
Well,
Nona?
they wouldn't look like a robot. They would just look similar to like what Nona looks like, would be my guess.
Could you all roll a wisdom notice check, please?
No, I already did that once, so I succeed on all of them now.
Sure.
In perpetuity.
Oh, God. Okay. These dice are whatever the opposite of fired is. They're promoted. I just rolled 2 6s.
6.
Means
Got an 8.
Okay. So
11.
Nona and Micah, as you guys are searching the bodies, you're not seeing anything like really super valuable. More weapons, just general like loose leaf stuff that certain people have them like on them, like papers and files. The files say things like you sort of already assumed. It seems like this was an AI robotics sort of laboratory, lab and factory. But as you guys are searching, you actually notice on the walls a directory of names and sort of each of their associated jobs. And on that directory, you see station coordinator Kyle Reed.
that's the bitch. Get him.
And head researcher.
We'll kill Kyle Reed.
Does this dog have a hunt mode? Let's find out.
And it has like the directory of where it is. So it's like room 401. And
We can't find it.
you can't find it. It's gone.
Not able to even.
I assume you guys want to head that direction then?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
Make note of that.
Yeah. Welcome to the house.
The house of Kyle Reed.
That is good.
I have to pull open things for no reason whatsoever. So,
What? Fierce typing.
Fuck.
So you guys make your way. It's up a couple of stories. This is the ring is larger, so there's just more space and things that could be kept within it. And the rooms on the 4th floor appear to be like offices for high-ranking individuals. You see like head of such and such division or lead of such and such division. And as you're moving towards room 401, you see the plaque of Dr. Kyle Reed, head researcher and station coordinator. But the door is shut. It's like a sliding door on either side, and it's just welded hastily down the middle.
So what you're saying
go
is
get the bomb.
What you're saying is no hinges.
No hinges.
Damn
I'm just
it.
gonna always have sliding doors from now on.
It's a good policy when I'm around.
Also, they're just it's much more futuristic to just have the door open for you.
100%.
So these are like heavy metal doors.
Hell yeah.
They're not like
Light
blast
metal.
doors. They but they are metal.
Okay. They do not match with what you might call a light wooden construction.
They do not match a light wooden construction, considering
Interesting.
they're welded shut.
Well, there you have it then.
Unless someone could weld wood shut, in which case
That would be
It's the
cool.
future. I don't know.
it's
Wood
fair.
glue, but like hardcore.
Just burn it. Okay,
Mm.
well,
Are there any other ways into the room that we could see, or is it just like no windows, no nothing, just like
Drop ceiling.
there's the plaque and this welded door?
Yeah, there's this black and welded door. He does not have a secondary means of egress. Space OSHA would be very upset.
God, Space Nona is very upset. Fire code. Come on, you guys.
Want to try just smashing the door with my I-beam.
I'm going to move
Okay.
away.
So you're just gonna go to town on this door?
I want to see like if there's any give. Is this a viable way to break in?
All right, roll an attack roll.
I'm taking a more Alix approach to this and gonna go stand near the back.
22.
That hits the door.
hit the door.
Yes, let's go.
Roll for damage.
Oh, could you imagine if the door dodged?
Well, sometimes an attack is
Glances off, I
off
know.
of it.
But it's funnier if it dodged.
8.
Yeah, so you are definitely making way by banging in this door. It is making a lot of noise, so you just go bam, 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 and just sort of going away on this door, and it's sort of starting to dent in and crack. It's not completely open yet.
I mean,
Is there
Nothing like you can hear the noise echoing throughout this sort of
Yeah.
level.
I'm gonna be looking for things.
So are
With
you
my
just
great
keeping
notice.
your eyes out for anything?
Like if the big banging noise happens and we know that there's robots hanging around here in general, or there were. Maybe we got them all. Maybe it's fine. But just sort of keeping an eye out for general movement
Yeah.
kind of deal.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm looking the other way down the hallway because we have to get this door open, but you know.
Eh.
Can you do a wisdom notice check?
Yes.
And Tony will also be doing it.
8.
4. You guys have betrayed me.
So because of Alex's great watch, he is pretty confident that there's nothing currently coming up.
I
as
looked down
to
the hallway very good.
At least coming up directly to you. You have no way of knowing if anything heard. Can you make another attack roll?
sure I can. Let's play hit that door. 21.
That
America's
still
favorite
hits
game.
the door.
And 0 is 10 on this
0
die.
is 10.
Cool. So 12 damage.
Okay, and with that last sort of whack, it busts open. These things were meant to sort of fold into the walls itself, but you have sort of forced them into the room and outward.
Well, they didn't leave us much option, did they? If those doors wanted to go into the wall, they would have gone into the wall.
So after opening the door, you look into the office and see a fairly immaculate office considering the circumstances. The walls are lined with bookcases filled to the brim with different texts relating to programming, robotics, philosophy, biology, psychology, nigh almost any scientific pursuit in the universe.
Geology.
Yeah, not so much geology.
God damn it.
A neat little coffee table is surrounded by cushioned chairs, and they sit in the middle of the room, giving you the feeling this room was designed to be a welcoming and homey feeling. Farther into the room, there is a large desk with a simple computer chair at it, and sitting in front of a glass pane that allows you to look out and observe the stars. The computer and various office supplies that you would assume once lay on the desk have been thrown to the floor. To the right side. After taking in your surroundings, you guys sort of go in and look around the place. There's nothing immediately that appears trapped about it. You hear a faint whirring sound, and a ray of light comes from the desk, projecting the image of a man sitting at the same desk you see before you into the middle of the room.
I foresaw the destruction of the Jedi. I came here to hide.
And with a somber, serious voice,
Nope, it's already ruined.
it speaks.
Hey, Sam. As you could probably tell from the state of the station, we have been betrayed. I'm not sure by who or why or when, but it appears someone reached out to the Terran Mandate about our research here. And despite the fact that we are operating in a system outside of their influence. They took it upon themselves to investigate and eradicate. We were unable to defend against the force they brought. They started killing indiscriminately. We were able to activate our internal defenses and start evacuating, but they were well armed and well planned. Their fleet was chasing down any ships trying to flee the station, and though many ships were able to escape, too many weren't as fortunate. So I made a decision. I initiated an unsecure hyperjump.
The hologram shakes his head and tears well up into his eyes.
With the structural integrity of the station compromised, the station nearly tore itself apart, instantly killing most people remaining and dooming the rest. The life support system and power are offline, except for some emergency power to this quadrant. The station outside my office will be uninhabitable in minutes, and while I'm faring a little bit better with half a day's worth of oxygen, no one will even start looking until it's too late.
He looks up.
Out of this entire tragedy, I count my blessings that you were away haggling on component prices. I don't know what I would have done if our roles were reversed. I'm sorry I won't be there to see our dream realized. But even knowing how it all ended, I wouldn't change anything. Thank you, Sam, for making my life something worth living these past 20 years.
He trails off, looking wistfully into the distance, rubbing a wedding band on his left hand before refocusing.
Quinn is safe. I made sure of that. I hope you find her well. I can't imagine what she must be going through right now. Well, I should wrap this up before I start rambling. I love you, Sam. Take care of yourself and give them hell. Goodbye.
And with that, the man presses a button in front of him and the hologram disappears, leaving you looking at a silhouette of a man underneath a simple blanket on top of the desk.
Can anybody see where the card is?
Hey, Nona, give us a second here.
So
Amanda.
it wasn't a mandate facility. It was invaded.
Yeah, they were trying to get off the grid, and Terran Mandate came for them.
But invaded for, and I look at the dog, like for pet, for AI.
This doesn't... Why would they care about this kind of thing?
Because he,
What?
well, because he looks a lot like a dog. And this is a step in the right direction, maybe, for something else.
Seriously, anybody seen that card anywhere?
No, you can go find it.
Oh, yes, I'm going to head into the room and go looking for that.
Actually, I'll help you. I go over towards Nona.
And Tony says, I'll stay here, keep a lookout.
Please.
So you guys head into the room. It's as described, sort of lined to wall with bookcases. There is the desk in the middle of the room that has the man underneath a plain sheet.
Nona, what was the name of that woman you're looking for?
To answer your real question, yes.
Thought so. Okay. We'll check the directory just to make sure it's not like an uncommon name.
Fair.
So you're going to the desk?
Yeah, I'm in general still attempting to find the card.
Okay.
I'm also planning on claiming this entire room is like, this is mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what scavenger's rights or whatever.
Yeah. So you're looking around the room and you don't see anything immediately apparent that appears to be the card. There is this sort of elephant in the room that is a man's body underneath a sheet on the desk.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to pull off the sheet?
Yeah.
Voila. Hey, voila.
The flowers are still standing.
Can I get a wisdom notice check from both you, Nona, as well as you, Alix?
Yeah.
Keep doing this to me. I'm going to have to use my routine or
5.
whatever to stop sucking at wisdom. 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys.
This man is dead.
This man is dead. You pull back the sheet, and it is the same man that just appeared to you moments earlier within the hologram. He's lying down on the desk with his arms sort of crossed against his chest, almost that like he was placed there. As you start searching his body, Nona, you notice that the wedding band that he appeared to be fumbling with during the hologram has been removed. And additionally, there appear to be some scoring patterns from a puncture wound that happened from that where that wedding band was sort of living. So think of like a puncture wound, and then like the veins that come from that puncture wound sort of blackened.
Like a snake bite, or what exactly? Like singular?
something unnatural. It was in all directions.
Oh, okay.
And as you search his body, you do find his ID card, which is Kyle Reed. And it says on it, the card itself says head researcher and station coordinator.
Fantastic.
I assume you take the card?
Oh, yes, 100%.
You find it?
Yes.
Well, all right then.
Shall we go turn on the power?
Yeah, let's do what we came to do, huh?
Before we go out the room too much, Alix is just going to pick up the papers on the floor and put them in a neat stack. Just kind of thumb through them to see if anything catches his interest. Otherwise, he just kind of tidies up that room. He doesn't like it being on the floor like that.
Cool. So you thumb through a couple of these files, and 2 sort of catch your eye. The first one seems to be a printed out email chain, because apparently this man is this kind of person.
The worst. I'm glad he's dead.
And the email chain says, from redacted to Dr. Brandon Spiner, subject True AI research occurring on Glaz of 5. Dear Dr. Spiner, thank you for bringing up this matter to our attention. As you're well aware, True AI is first-grade maltech, and that poses a huge threat to humanity's safety. So we take these accusations very seriously. We will be sending a unit of officers to collect the necessary evidence and make the requisite arrests. Your account has been rewarded for this information as requested. The unit will be searching the premises in 30 Terran hours. Please make sure you are available on site at that time to guide them so that as much of the research can be seized as possible. You are doing your system proud. Lieutenant Verity, Maltech Division, Terran Mandate.
Why would they redact the email address but not the... I'm going to fold that up and just pocket that. And the rest of the files will go back on the deck.
There was a secondary
thing, yeah.
There was a secondary file that appeared to be a component manifest that has both the names of Dr. Kyle Reed as well as Dr. Samantha Calvin on them.
Yeah. That'll come with me too.
Cool.
Hate to see an office in disarray. Also, dead body. Don't like to see that either. But yeah.
And you guys just go back the way that you came?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do we have any reason to hit up?
I would very much like to turn on the power and get that life support going so I
we
can take off my back
we can
suit
explore
for no reason whatsoever.
later.
It's probably for the best. Yeah, so let's go back for now and try and use the card.
Cool.
So you guys make your way back. It is uneventful. You make your way again past the transceiver as well as the destroyed mechs. They don't appear to have been moved or anything like that. You continue making your way back to the system maintenance. Again, nothing appears to be moved. The bomb is still there.
Fantastic. Best news we've had all day.
And you guys are in the room. Are you just going to head over to the console for power generation? And then cool. So say Nona, you go up there, you press the card to it, and it says, "Welcome, Kyle Reed." And it gives you the interface to start up the power. I assume you start up the power.
I start up the power, as that was step 1.
Yep. So already all of the lights seem to jump back to life. I mean, because that's how
Are they going to
power
attack
works.
us now?
The light shines more light at you.
Oh, no.
The lights come on in at least what you can immediately see in the room, as well as the quadrant in the hallway outside. And you just hear the whirring of this machine. I assume you want to go over and do the same to the life support system.
Don't we have to close the blast doors first?
Yes.
Okay, I would like to close the blast doors
Tricky.
first.
Oh,
Tricky
trying to
idea.
catch me.
That's done on the life support
Oh, okay,
system.
cool.
So
Great.
it basically says cannot start the life support system until blast doors are closed.
Gotcha. And then you
close those.
hit the close blast doors button.
Yeah. And,
Fantastic.
Alex has his gun on the entrance, on the door into the room the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going through this. You've turned on the power. You've turned on the life support.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to filter in. Don't take off your vac suits yet because it's not ready just yet. But the levels are starting to level out a little bit. One thing that you do notice from having to start up the life support systems is there's obviously the blast doors that went to the for the walkway between R&D 1 and the elevator, as well as systems and maintenance. Those are closed now, like more sealed, properly sealed. And also the entirety of R&D 2 has been closed off because of those massive holes that you guys walked past.
Sure.
So the only way for you guys to get back is actually to go through R&D 1 to residential and then come across to the elevator. But
to the elevator. Yeah. Sure.
So just to give you an idea of what parts of this ring are now
R&D
closed or
2
open.
was the one that we went to first, where we found the dog. Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
And you guys, nothing appears like to immediately happen. Life support's starting to go up, and there's the console there. So I assume you guys also take that key to sort of go in and restart the black box.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nona is very happy about having completed all the tasks on the list
these
in order.
Have happened in order and successfully. And once the black box has run its course, Tony speaks up and says, "All right, I think our job is done here. We should probably go and move to meet Rodana and the others in the elevator."
Yeah, we should, and quickly, if we can. I don't know if there are other levels. Yeah, more robots that could hit the button on the elevator and potentially, they come up and the doors open and we try to get on, but it's already full of robots.
I'd actually like to spend some more time looking through the room with the dead guy.
Which dead guy?
The one we came from, where he had the card.
Kyle Reed.
Yeah.
Tony says, "All right, you guys can do what you want. I need to do a quick sweep and make sure there's nothing else sort of around. I'll meet up with Rodana and the crew. Make sure you guys fill up your pockets, because that's the..."
Oh, Tony, you Joshua.
And he has like a bunch of like the weapons that he's been picking up from the Terran Mandate soldiers, and he just sort of has them in like a pile and is just walking away with them.
Don't forget, we also get half of everything else.
Don't worry, I didn't.
Perfect.
He turns the corner.
Great.
Okay.
The dog is still with you guys.
That is completely fine.
I hold up a finger. I wait for a little bit to make sure Tony doesn't forget something, and then I pull out the letters and the forms. I go, "Nona, quick, for you. It's a gift."
Going to read through that. Great. I now have information.
You have learned.
Do you want me to read it again?
No.
No. I know what it says. I am also just trying to, quick scan, quick thanks, hand it back to him, and immediately like fixing self. Do.
Mm-hmm.
Still,
you're fixing?
Yes, I would like, because Tony left.
Yeah, I might need to look up exactly how to do that. I don't think
That's
it can
fair.
be done in like minutes. I think this might be like a couple of hours in order for you to...
Oh, so there's, okay.
There's like a maintenance thing that you need to do in order to get fixed up.
Okay. There's no like
Okay.
quick patch that I could do just like with a fix check or anything like that.
I need to check.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
Sure. Okay.
But we can deal with that
Okay.
off podcast.
All right,
cool.
then I guess I won't. Remain at 1 HP and everything's fine.
Okay, so you guys
Gonna go back
have
to that
completed
office.
at least this mission. Are there any things that you immediately want to discuss with one another?
I would still like to go back to that office, please.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
we
yeah.
can
You
do
can go
that.
back to the
And we still
office.
got to do some good looting now.
It's true.
Yeah. There's a bomb. Do we want the bomb?
That I'd not.
We
maybe,
also
maybe not the
we're
bomb.
entitled to half of the bomb anyway. So.
Maybe not the bomb.
You guys are just leaving the bomb there?
I mean,
I don't think we want the bomb. Let's
Alright.
let's be honest. Whatever.
So the man with the bomb was Terran Mandate, yeah?
Yeah.
Hmm?
Oh, sorry. That was an out. That's,
There was a little bit of both.
who is this ghostly yes from the void?
God damn it, I knew I should have pulled the battery out of that third robot.
I don't know. It's very not. Do we leave it? Do we
I mean, what the fuck are we gonna do with it?
Not allow it to be
Blows-
used on us.
blow something up?
Point. Well, anyway, while we're mulling this over, I'm gonna pick up the rest of the guns that Tony didn't take.
Cool.
How much gun is that?
You can find basically as much as you want. There are 3 different types. There are combat shotguns, there are rifles, and there are submachine guns. All of this same sort of type. They do appear to fire. Tony fired one. And however much your encumbrance can take.
Okay, related question. Are there any like big ass crates around here?
Crates of drugs.
Yes.
What kind of crates are you looking for?
It's like
Flat
any
pallet like
kind of
things.
large container that you could put a large amount of stuff into.
I see. Yes, there is such a crate.
Oh, really?
There's the robot with the big hole in it. It was just-
Yeah, these some of those robots were made specifically for like lifting, picking up crates and stuff like that. So
Okay.
there are just sort of surrounding and in systems and maintenance, there are access to large sort of containers.
All right. Well, if there's just a crap load of guns lying around, then I'm going to use my telekinetic manipulation on one of those crates, and I'm going to put however many of those meets my holding limit, which is 400 kilograms.
400 kilograms. How much is 400 kilograms?
I think it's a lot.
It's like 2 pounds.
That does sound.
It is-
That does sound right.
It would be reasonable maybe for there not to be that many guns, but also maybe there are. I don't know.
881.849 pounds.
Subtracting the weight of the crate.
Of course.
The-
Naturally.
The crate itself would probably be
399
quite big.
kilograms.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to say because I don't want to math out anything, and if it's completely off, I don't care. You can get 10 of each gun.
Okay. There were 3 types of guns? Or 2?
Yeah, there are the combat rifles, combat shotguns, and submachine guns.
Okay.
Yeah. Alex isn't
I'm a
necessarily
collector. Micah's
interested
a-
in.
Micah, the arms dealer.
Apparently, that's the new line of work. So, combat rifle. What were the other guns?
Combat rifle, combat shotgun, and
Hmm.
submachine gun.
Okay.
And these don't have the exact stats of the ones in the book. You'll have to ask me
'Cause they're-
specifically
Yeah,
for
'cause they're
them and
weird.
test
Just going to
them out.
label them as pre-tech.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
After that, I would like to go back to the office.
Okay. So you're up at the office. Did you go back alone?
I would announce that I was intending to do that to the room.
Mm-hmm.
And based on what they said,
Yeah, I would leave whenever, preferably after Micah is finished.
yeah, we can go as a group. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'll wait for that to happen, and then I will head back in that general direction.
So you guys do that. Things seem to be mostly secured unless there are robots hiding in the walls, but you don't notice them.
Jeff, did you put robots in the walls?
The walls are robots.
I can't imagine you would think of me in that way. Maybe.
Right. Okay. So, another question, compad, things like that. I've more or less been imagining a smartphone. Do we have access to a camera at all? Or just no?
So there's ComPads, which are basically smartphones. There's also, I think, data slabs or something.
I
like
also
that,
have one
which
of
is
those.
like a laptop.
Sure.
And I think a black slab is. I said ComPad before, but I think it's actually a data slab, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So it's like a laptop kind of deal.
Cool.
Or like a tablet.
So I have. Cool.
Yeah.
So I have the ability to take pictures.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and take a bunch of pictures of that room.
Okay.
I want pictures of the finger with the weird whatever on it.
With sort of like the scoring pattern.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I also want. We're gonna start with files. This is gonna be a while. People are gonna get bored of this.
Okay.
I want pictures of all of the files that are on the desk.
Yep.
And then if I can get anything that's sort of like, if we're through all the paperwork that's around, I'm going to start going and leafing through those books.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if there happen to be any books written by Dr. Samantha Calvin, those ones are going to get prioritized.
Yep. There are a couple of books written by Dr. Samantha Calvin as well as Kyle Reed.
Great.
In the sort of library that he has had.
Great. He's got books by himself on his. Oh.
They give him a copy.
he signed his own.
Yeah. So generally, scanning for things that look like at all relevant to true AI research.
Yep.
And
There's
Turns out that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
You certainly see some things regarding true AI research. It appears to be very dated. They're talking about like even putting together the core and like the size of it is practically has to be the size of like a building in order for all of the sort of workings to work and stuff like that. So it definitely seems pre-Nona or what you know yourself to be, but it definitely seems to be like groundwork of like, this is how we would do it. You need to have psychics who are able to do such and such and thing and stuff. And
two other questions. One, does Kyle Reed have a computer?
Yeah, it was thrown onto the ground.
Right. And what is the thing that makes the projection-y thing?
There was a little sort of silver disc that was laying on the desk that had a little sort of lens that pointed out towards the room.
I would like both of those things.
Well, you're taking both of the his computer as
and the
well
little
as
projection-y thing.
Cool. Yeah. Let me make note of that as well. Taking all of this shit.
The hologram didn't come on again when we re-entered the room, did it?
It did.
It did?
Hello, Sam. Not again.
Yeah, it seems to be operated by motion detection.
Cool. If there's a switch on it to turn it off, I'm going to turn it off so it doesn't keep going, hello, Sam, in my backpack.
That's completely fair. Are you trying to overwrite it or just turn it off?
Just turn it off.
Okay.
I just don't want other people having that.
Yep.
And I would also like to have it.
Yeah, so you guys have all of that. You guys doing this in sort of semi-silence, just kind of like
at one point
somber.
Alix just falls asleep.
You're paging through like a book in one of the comfy chairs and just sort of nod off.
I'm not even reading a book. I'm not on a chair. I'm
You're
like
just standing
I'm
up.
like slumped against the wall, watching Nona like, do the thing. This is her scene. And Alix just kind of head down, falls asleep.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I think in general, the goal is to just sort of get as much information as possible, as fast as possible, and then kind of analyze it later sort of deal.
Yeah. So gather as much information. Are you trying to obfuscate this information and not share it with the Paragon freelancers? Tony obviously saw the hologram and some of the other things with
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's more like I want copies of it because I want publicly in front of them to show no interest in it more than I want this information to not be out there at all.
You're like, this seems like important stuff.
Looks like nothing to me.
This looks like I could sell this on the
black market next to my piano.
Yeah. So you take your time sort of archiving as much information about this room as possible. I assume you also take the files that Alix sort of showed you regarding like the email as well as the manifest for the component purchase.
My intention was actually probably to take pictures of those and maybe put those back, is what I'm currently thinking.
Okay. Cool.
Because again, like people are going to go searching for information as to why this happened. I don't want there to be a mystery here necessarily. I just don't want anything that connects to me.
I see. So you are gathering as much information as you can and not trying to show that you are interested in this information.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
So that later when we come back and we're like, divide up the things, I'm like, I'll take all the guns and the neat tech stuff because I've already gotten the information that pertains to the robotics and this unknown Sam person.
Cool. All right. So you got all of that stuff.
Cool.
And as you guys are going through, on your vac suits, you get a notification that the air is now breathable. So do with that what you will. Take off your vac suits and stuff to be more comfortable, or take down your telekinetic armory so you don't have to hold it up anymore. And you guys are just hanging out in the room. Are you gonna head over and try and meet back up with the Paragon freelancers?
Well, we should get Micah's got all of her stuff that she wants. I've got all of my stuff that I want. We should get Alix.
Alex hasn't seen anything that's like crazy for him. When we leave through the elevator, he's gonna like stop over in the last quarter in R&R. But like honestly, is mostly looking for like med kits, pre-tech, like kind of things.
You find some things.
Yay.
But otherwise, yeah.
So you are semi-familiar with some pre-tech medication. Pre-tech medication or stims are effectively very powerful medicines that can really be applied by anyone. That's one of the great things about them. You don't need to have a medical sort of expertise in order to use them. And they have a wide range of effects. Actually, within the recreational and residential sector, you find several different types of stim. I'll let you carry, I don't know, a total of 15.
Cool.
There are 3 different types. The first one is called Mirror Ball. It's kind of similar to Reverie in that you trade situational awareness for something else. For Reverie, it was you sort of lose yourself. Everything moves a little bit slower to you, but you can't get out of things as fast.
You just kind of disassociate.
But what Mirror Ball does is it gives you pinpoint focus on a task, almost like a souped up Adderall. But like if someone's yelling in your ear, you might not notice them, kind of deal. There's a Wide Awake serum, which effectively allows the user the need not to be able to sleep for about a week, but should not be used in consecutive uses. Otherwise, it might have deadly side effects. And also a stim called Integrity, which heals 2d6 plus 2 plus 1 system strain.
Oh, wow.
And each additional dose after the first gives 2 system strain.
Got it.
So
Awesome.
take an assortment of those as you will.
Cool. Yeah, Alix is gonna go through all of that. Okay. And pocket. I have 5 of each down for now. And that'll probably be correct.
Cool. So you have your stuff. As you guys turn the corner to the elevator to meet up with Rodana and her crew, Tony sees Micah sort of carrying all of these. Like
I'm gonna like
he has like a little chuckle to himself about it.
I'm like, I have one hand underneath the crate as if I'm actually holding it, but like
this counts, right?
Yeah, I make the telekinesis invisible, so it's like, oh yeah, I'm really jacked actually.
And so you guys meet up. All of the people are there. They're starting to secure the area and prepare for defending this area, because as we said before, Once they got control of this ring, the smaller ring up top, they have sort of control between elevator movement between those two floors. So whatever is controlling these system defenses can't send the elevator all the way up through their sort of sphere of influence.
Cool.
So they're setting up sort of the sandbags and stuff here at this point. And there was another transceiver that they found in the residential and recreation center, another pair of security bots that had been dismantled by Tony and you assume some other people. And they're just starting to do a general sweep of the area. So congratulations, you guys have secured this ring.
Fantastic.
And that is where we will end today's episode.
Hell yeah. Kill the robots, get the drugs. That's my motto.
Just another day's
All around good times forever.
All right.
Cool.
I didn't really realize, but like a bit after we were suggesting throwing the bomb into space, I realized that was kind of also what we did with the drug, and I'm starting to wonder if that's just going to be a theme with us.
That's our answer to everything.
That's
Throw it into space.
I don't want to deal with this. Throw it into space.